Hi, it's February 8th, 2016 in Chelmsford, and we just had a snowstorm this weekend on Friday, and we had some about 10 inches of snow in Chelmsford, and we had about 2,000 power outages. So I just wanted to review for the grinder pump owners the procedures for what to do in a power outage. Now here's the owner's manual that we have from the town that tells us what to do with our grinder pumps. And if we turn to the troubleshooting section, it'll tell us if there is a power failure, what to do. Okay, looks like it's right there if there's a power failure. Now, what we're instructed to do is, if there's a power failure, reduce water use wherever possible. Okay, now, the reason for that is because when the power is out, the pump cannot operate because the pump runs on electricity. Here's a diagram of the pump, and you can see that the pump has a total capacity of 70 gallons. But when the pump stops running, the actual amount of water that you can put into it before it gets filled might be as small as 38 gallons. That's the difference between the 32-gallon level here and the 70-gallon level. So once you put more than 38 gallons into this, into your drain, when there's no power, the water will begin backing up on the your line, your drain line. It'll back up into the house, and it will come into your basement if you have a drain in your basement. I have a drain in my basement. This is a wash tub. And the drain, this wash tub drain is about 3 feet, or about 2 feet, 2.5 feet off the floor, and it's very close to the ground level outside. And what that means is that when the water starts backing up, it might make it as high as this drain here, or it might overflow from the grinder pump, because these two are very close. So I have a house, because I have a drain in my basement that is at about ground level. I might get backup into this tub if I used enough water and if the pump was not running. Okay, now during a power outage, I know the electricity is off, the pump can't possibly run, so I know there's a potential problem. Now, what I'm going to show you here is something that I've shown before, but it's a water alarm. This is the Watchdog water alarm. Bob McEnany told me about this, and I'm recommending that anyone that has a drain in their basement to get one. It runs off a 9-volt battery, transistor battery, 9-volt battery like for a radio, and that battery will last for about 5 years before it needs to be replaced. And it costs about $12. I got this at Lowe's, and I put it right here now, and I just leave it in this tub. Now, if the power were to go out, I could use about 38 gallons of water before my water would start backing up. And this alarm, this water alarm, is going to help me, because even though I'm not going to be down in my basement the entire time, if the water were to get as high as to back up into this drain, I'm going to know about it because this alarm's going to go off. So I'm just going to test the alarm right now by adding a little water into the tub. Now, if there was a backup, it would actually be coming up through the drain. But this is just a test to make sure my water alarm is working. And I should test this once a year or so, just to make sure that the battery's not dead. Okay, you can see it's got two little metal contacts at the bottom, and once the water level gets high enough to hit the bottom of the alarm, it's going to go off. That's going to tell me that I have a problem, and that I can't use any more water, because the water would at that point begin backing up into this tub. This is very, very handy. This single device would have saved many people already if they had had one of these, who would have gotten a backup in their basement because they had a drain that was low enough and because they lost power, or even if you don't lose power and you just have a situation where your pump has a failure and the alarm on the pump has failed, this saves you from getting a backup. So this is a very, very handy thing to have. And I just wanted to show you again about it, how to use it, and so you'll be ready if we do get an extended power outage. The power outage we had on Friday probably only lasted about a day. Probably people with grinder pumps didn't have too much of a problem then. But we could have a longer power outage, and that's where this would really come in handy. Okay, bye. Hi, this is just a little extra piece for this video to show the use of the remote sensor application for this watchdog. On the bottom of it, the little case opens up, and it's possible to place the sensor elements in the bottom of this basin while keeping the alarm at the top of the basin. Now the idea here is that if I kept the alarm at the bottom of the basin and it started filling with water, it's possible that the alarm would stop going off after it had been submerged. That seems quite likely. So by putting it up here, it would continue to alarm for the entire time. Even if this were overflowing, the alarm would presumably continue to alarm, so that it's going to obviously increase your chances of detecting this, because it would be going off for quite a long time. So anyway, Jim Twitchell pointed this out, and for this basin, this is a better way of setting this up. So that's what I'm doing. So I just wanted to add this. Thanks. Bye.